Welcome. My name is Reverend Dr. Michael McMorrow. I'm coming to you live in the sanctuary of the Center for Spiritual Living here in Granada Hills. We're in the North San Fernando Valley, a place where we welcome all who practice their beliefs and faith and love. And it's a very chilly, wonderful 75 degrees in here. So if you're at home sweating, you should come on down and meditate with us and cool off. It's cooler than the movie theater. And besides, the action that's going on within your own mind is far more interesting than anything you're going to see on a movie screen. So that's what we play with here when we get real and heal. So we're here for our meditation service tonight, and I'm joined by Beverly Scott, one of our practitioners and a regular here. And so we'll get underway. This is your first time here, welcome, and we'll take you through it here in just a second. So let's start by taking a deep, conscious breath and release. As the lads in the back bring up a little music, we allow ourselves to just use the breath to anchor ourselves and release the concerns of the day, anchor ourselves into this moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which we call spirit, and which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. That fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this evening. So as Beverly lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. The seventh candle we light for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, for the space we hold for them here in our sanctuary, within our online community, and of course within our own hearts. And as Beverly lights the healing candle, let us put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender. I surrender. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I surrender. I surrender. I trust in God.
As we turn in within this evening to surrender this moment, these next few minutes, we stand in silence, recognizing pure spirit, life, perfect life, God's life, our life now. Seeing and knowing Spirit as Spirit sees and knows us. We allow ourselves to be receptive and open to this good that's ever flowing. Even when circumstances appear to be unsurmountable, we know that there is possibility, there is grace, there is continuity with the union that each of us have with our inner self, whom we recognize as the indwelling Spirit, the only Spirit that can bring peace, maintain peace, provide perfect health, higher consciousness. All of these things are available right here and now. As we release whatever is hanging over us, we set it aside and we give it to our spirit, and we release and we let go. And we hold space for those that are unable at this time to hold space for themselves. We are that light. We are that love. And it all comes from within. I am deeply grateful for this realization that infinite wisdom is life, my soul, my supply, my fortress. And I am deeply grateful that this truth is true for all beings. As I release my word into the activity of law, I accept this truth as being manifested, complete. And it is so, and it is now done. Let us affirm together, and so it is.
And so it is.
Amen. Ooh, I'm here this evening wanting to say thank you so much for our country, the peace that we have, the peace that we elude and spread every time we walk out of our homes and look at each other, look at nature. We know that there is a higher presence that's here for everyone. And that leads me into what I want to speak on this evening. My creative thought has to do with faith over fear. Just a little background. I've been putting off visiting with a few acquaintances from my past. Why? It's really not so much the people, it's more so me, Beverly. I've been working diligently, openly, and very determined to stay in the present, stay in the moment, walking with my spirit. And I have changed. As much as I say and know in my heart, it really does not matter how much I feel I've changed. It's what is expressed and seen by others. So I did make the trip with tribulation, knowing that I'm not perfect, but I have changed. I have a higher consciousness. My Christ consciousness is flowing through me, in me, and out to everyone I meet. So when I saw my friends, my acquaintances, the first thing right off, they said, wow, you have a light about you. Mm-hmm. And I smile. I smile very brightly because they did not see the Beverly that they once knew. They see or saw the Beverly that Spirit is presenting. So with that said, I had shame because I had imagined all of this and there was no truth in it. And I am glad, very glad indeed, that I am a light and my light is burning bright. I'm open and receptive to God's living spirit of truth. Faith and fear both demand you believe in something you cannot see. There is no need to fear anything in this life if we believe that we have available at all times the wisdom that created this universe. That's Almighty God. And which we can and will overcome anything that disturbs us, like the self-talk that we so often engage in, that can be quite detrimental if you don't maintain the faith in God. We must choose to experience close contact with the presence of God in and as us. It's the relationship in which we experience profound guidance and comfort as we face conditions that scare us. We're never alone. Never are we alone. This means that we acknowledge feeling fear. We breathe through it, and we might even choose to share about it with others. I did share how I felt with the people that I had not seen in some time. And what I gather is that we all are moving at our own pace and time. But we are all receptive and aware that there is a higher power, and we can look within. And we can also look to like-minded people, people that have taken and embarked and embraced this walk in faith, all the while staying open to allowing the deep, divine, wise part of us to allow fear to flow through us and out of us, so that our inherent faith, guidance, can lead us forward in making choices. Know this, fear is just the other side of faith. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Nothing more. It goes back to its nothingness. My affirmation: I have faith in my inner guidance. It sustains me as I transcend any and all fear about conditions. I love who I am, and I love each and every being that I come in contact with. There is no fear. Love, peace, and harmony. I leave with you. I do have a few announcements. As always, there is a practitioner available to talk with or to pray over any condition that you may like to share, we are available at CSLGH.org. We also have planned this coming Sunday, July 9th, a potluck brunch with Reverend Dr. Mike. It would be immediately following our second service. Please contact Kathy Theodore at kathytheodore@earthlink.net to be of service or sign up for your dish in Sparks Hall. Or you can contact the administrative office, email it addressed to Melissa, admin@cslgh.org. I would like to announce the month of July, we've canceled the bereavement.
No, law of attraction.
I'm sorry, I just got the text.
Oh. Bereavement too?
No,
Oh,
I forgot the right one.
okay. Good.
Another reminder, SUM, full moon ceremony on Thursday night at 7 p.m. They will have a guest, Marianne Lewis, singer, musician, speaker, will be speaking on that evening. A reminder, save the date for the summer kids theater camp with Jenny Fox and Reverend Nicole Robbins. It will be the week of August 7th through the 11th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Contact Jenny at jenny.gamari, Gaimari, @gmail.com. Thank you for listening to the announcements, and I offer you to take this time to let everything just go, and let's turn in and enjoy the meditation with the Rev. Thank you.
All right, Beverly, thanks for that. Sorry interrupted you there. So just so we're clear, it's the Law of Attraction group that has been just postponed. It's not canceled, just postponed for July, I'm guessing for vacation matters. So it'll be back. It's not going anywhere. And also tomorrow night, it's tomorrow night, right? The full moon? Yeah, so.
Yes.
So this, the presenter and singer is pretty amazing. I actually saw her at the North Hollywood Church of Religious Science several years ago. So she's a great singer. I'll look forward to hearing what she has to share as a presenter. And so come support the spiritual unity movement and yourself by sitting in the wonderful air conditioning and with some really great folks. Whenever you can come together and do group meditation, there's a vibration about that that's just palpable. And it's a nice, the group that's putting it on, they've been doing it for years now. They're a nice outfit. So, today we're speaking to, I'm going to work out of this book for a while. One of the poetry is kind of the scripture of life. Sometimes in a secular way. Sometimes it's very spiritual. So for instance, the Psalms are basically poems, love poems to the Spirit. But we have sacred poetry that's been available for millennia, but even so-called secular poetry has a sacredness to it as well. If we consider the search for truth, or at least pointing to the truth, those aspects of life that are poignant and transcendent, and lead us to a place where we connect to understanding, perception, insight within ourselves in a way that up until that moment in the poem was not available to us. I think a lot of people have preconceived ideas of what poetry is, because when I should just speak to my own experience. For instance, I was when I was in high school, we studied Beowulf. That's supposed to be poetry, right? That's like Old English, doesn't sound like anything, but it doesn't mean it's not significant, but it's not roses are red, violets are blue, that's for sure, which is the other point. So the other thing is this simplistic thing, like when we're in, grade school or whatever, and we have to write poems, and we think they have to rhyme, and they have to have a certain rhythm and so forth. And that's just a type of poem. But then there are many poets who don't write like that at all. And maybe you are one of those who likes to capture moments in vignettes, sentences that are little vignettes of thought that are yet tied together, that convey a feeling or a sense of a particular moment in time, which has been the inspiration for this teaching that we teach here, coming out of the transcendental movement, where you had poets writers who were also poets, like Emerson somewhat, but certainly Thoreau, Wordsworth, Browning, Louisa May Alcott wrote poetry, Nathaniel Hawthorne, who was more of a writer, but all these folks also did poetry, Stevenson. So all writers who used language to convey that a sense of the deeper meaning of life. And so this fellow, Daniel Ladinsky, who is has also translated, I actually know him as a translator of Hafez, the Persian poet. But this book, Love Poems from God, 12 Sacred Voices from the East and the West. So I just thought I'll share a poem, and then I will open up a nice little pack of Shut the Hell Up, and then we'll go into the meditation. One of my minister friends actually gave me a pack of that. I really didn't think it was that funny. All right, this is from Thomas Aquinas, okay, a Christian mystic and thinker who was very much was one of those Christian thinkers who saw God reflected in nature. And this is entitled The Divine Intimacy. So the experience of something out of nothing. The experience of something out of nothing, is that not how one might describe magic? A hat held upside down may appear empty. though at God's command, all life that any planet has ever known could dance around the hat's rim, holding hands. The root that needs no ground is he, and from that root all has come. Creation is God's litter, and all are nursed. Some grow more plump than others, indeed. Eternally amazed is the soul before God, watching him expand, witnessing God reveal himself to himself. That divine intimacy I know. The experience of something out of nothing, is that not how one might describe magic? A hat held upside down may appear empty, though at the Spirit's command all life that any planet has ever known could dance around the hat's rim, holding hands. The root that needs no ground is she, and from that root all has come. Creation is the Spirit's litter, and all are nursed. Some grow more plump than others, indeed. Eternally amazed is the soul before the Spirit, watching it expand. Witnessing the Spirit reveal himself to herself. That divine intimacy I know. So taking a deep breath and releasing the breath, and let's feel that release. So tonight, as we set the intention of this meditation, maybe set the intention to have a more intimate connection with the Spirit this evening. Releasing any intellectual ideas of what that might be. Any judgments, resentments even. And just allow ourselves to be and to open. And see if we can't discover within ourselves a place of softness and connection to allow ourselves, to allow the soft places within us to be nursed, to be restored, to recognize the healing within. So we take a deep conscious breath and release. And I'm going to ask Renzen to turn the Renzen. Can you check the air, please? Click it down a couple degrees. There we go, as we follow the breath. So whatever is happening in your environment, we're using sensation to focus and to still the mind. Whether it's the movement of the air on the skin, the sound of the oming bros, the roosting crows in the neighborhood, we focus our attention on the exhale. And for tonight, let's feel each exhale as a surrender to love, a surrender to the Spirit. So with each inhale, we feel the heart expand. With each exhale, we feel the surrender to love. Checking our posture, bringing our attention to the sit bones, the spine balanced above the sit bones, the head balanced on the spine. Sitting upright but free of tension. Feel the heart expand on each in-breath. And release to love on the exhale. As we move into the silence now for about 15 minutes. Taking a deep breath and release. back into the room, staying with the breath. Feeling the expanding heart on the in-breath, the surrender to the Spirit on the exhale. Imagine with me that in your heart center there lies the spark of the divine, the flame of the divine, and that with each in-breath now we are fanning that flame. With each in-breath we are allowing the divine light within to radiate and make itself known. So with each in-breath, with each degree of allowing this light strengthens and brightens this divine fire within that illuminates rather than consumes, that we feel its radiance, its comforting warmth rather than searing heat. A rejuvenation, an energetic rejuvenation. As we imagine this light now expanding within the heart center, this ball of divine light within, expanding with each in-breath. And with the rise and fall of the breath, it just continues to expand and contract in the way an inflated balloon would act. Staying with the breath. Just breathing easily and naturally. This light, this energetic of light, of love, of radiance now extending beyond the body, torso, side to side, front to back, top to bottom. And we're feeling an energetic quickening within the body, an energetic quickening and an opening, a lightening of the mind, a dissolving of attitude, of judgment, a field of loving possibilities opening even now, extending beyond our own bodies now and commingling with our friends here within the sanctuary, commingling with the energetic of our ancestral prayers that have been prayed and breathed into this sanctuary in this exact place since the 70s, an energetic that is so strong that it is joined now by those with us here online, whether in real time or even in future viewing, for we understand that the Spirit is not bound by time nor space, that these are human constructs, and we are now allowing ourselves to open to experience as we move from the real unto the unreal, from the unreal into the real, that it is all one thing. And so from this place, this energetic of surrendering in the most intimate ways to the Spirit, we have a sense of our oneness with it, that we in fact are expressing, that the body temple is expressing as a harmonized, as an aligned energetic of the Most High. That we know that at the deepest fiber of our being, in the biological being, that every every atom, every molecule, every cell, every muscle, every bone, every sinew, every organ, every neuron, all the blood vessels, all of this beautiful cacophony of fiber, of matter that we call the biological body, and all the various components within this symbiotic biome that we call the human body, and all the various components working together even now, expressing as of a pattern of perfection, of light, of love, and as harmony. Within the animate expression of this thing known as our body, that we are feeling a lightness, as we even now know that the body temple is being restored and is now expressing as radiant good health, as flexibility and strength, that there's a freedom from pain or suffering of any kind, that any obstacles from the full and complete expression of radiant good health is dissolved even now. So we take a deep breath, releasing. In that release, and we know that the mind now is open to the creative impulse of life, that we are receiving even now a divine download to any seeming problem, any seeming challenge that appears to be have us confused in some way, that we are opening up now to this divine download, that aspect, the highest aspects of mind, by which the solution to any seeming problem is easily absorbed, is embodied, is recognized intuitively, that we are intuitively guided to decisions in ways that are expressing clarity, clear thinking, and ways of thinking that intuitively guide us into the highest expression of life for ourselves and for others, and that we now are open, receptive to this divine download, knowing that it is anchored within us in the deepest aspects of mind to be accessed later, either in the dream state or through flashes of intuition that continue to express themselves from this point forward. That we take a deep breath, that we release that, so that finally in this open state, that the heart is open and receptive to relationships that have within them connection, respect, intuitive ways of communication that seek first to understand rather than to be understood, that have within them ways of mindful, peaceful abiding as we listen with the ear of the heart, attuned to the communication of the other rather than thinking about the next thing to say, that we're just really fully present to experience the divine intimacy of life through our relationships with others, whether within our home life, our working life, or in the life of community that we share with others. So taking a deep breath, we release that now, as we know together that all of the cares, concerns, inspirations, aspirations that we have brought here with us tonight, that we take one more deep breath and feel the release, and in that release knowing that we are just releasing all of it now to that aspect of the mind of the divine that knows only to say, yes, my beloved, yes, in you I am well pleased. It is done. So further, we know as we leave here tonight, we arrive home safely and in good order. And as we go through the rest of our evening, arriving to our beds, that as our head hits the pillow, we drift off easily to sleep, dreaming, resting deeply, dreaming sweet dreams, that we awaken feeling fully restored, rested, and revitalized with a sense of vim and vigor and a spring in our step and an excitement to give witness to the divine expressing itself in, through, and as all of life, in, through, and as our life. So one more deep breath. And now in gratitude and confidence, we just release all of it now to its divine unfoldment, knowing that it is done, knowing it is so. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. So divine intimacy, see if you can take that into the rest of your evening, into the rest of this week, this Independence Day week. See if you don't feel a little more free, a little more light, a little more connected within yourself and with your fellows. And if that is so for you, drop me a line. I'd love to hear your testimony. So, and you're welcome to join us. We're also online. If this is your first time joining us, thank you for joining us. Hit that subscribe button, and then and the notification bell, and you can join us at 10:30, where we're here live. And if you're local here, we also get going at 9 a.m. And as Beverly mentioned, this week you can be fed in soul and in body by Teresa James is in the house. We'll be speaking to how to break our way out of the hypnotic state of life to be more fully present, and then we can eat and talk about it afterwards. All right, till then, know that you're loved. Peace and blessings, and I'll see you next time.